Hello, everyone. I think we are live, right?
It looks to be so.
Yeah. Oh, my camera's not on the layout. What? But yeah, hello everyone. It's Dact again. I was here a few hours ago, but it's we're back with the run that was actually on the schedule this time. And apparently the donation incentive just got sniped by Liquid, so that's cool. We got a very generous donation earlier for the...
2 seconds before the run transitioned, we got a $300 donation from Liquid Wi-Fi for Green Spyro. When I told Dact, he thought I was joking. So
yeah, 100% I did. Yeah, we had a very generous anonymous donation for the default color early in the marathon. All right, well, I guess I'm pretty much ready to go. So let's do that. I haven't started on memory card for a while. I don't remember what the last menu is, so I think it's this one. All right, let's go. We'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, Spyro 3 again. This is the last game in the original PS1 trilogy. The last good Spyro game, one might say. I did any percent earlier, which was very short, like half an hour, just kind of running through, getting and like beating all the levels. I'll be doing much more than that this time. Oh, color sheet. Give me a sec. I nearly forgot. There we go.
Did you guys know?
Yeah. Did you know that Spyro was originally green? But he blended in with the grass. So they changed it to purple. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot more stuff this time. Actually collecting all of the things. There's basically 2 collectibles in this game. There's eggs and gems. The gems, it's pretty straightforward. They're just lying all over the place. You just pick them up. Eggs, though, they're kind of the main collectible. There's basically 3 ways you get eggs. Some of them are just lying around on the ground. Some are like you get from NPCs for beating levels, and others for doing like mini games and extra challenges.
We don't really get to, well, we could explain proxies right now if we want to.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
There was an attempt there. Can easily explain them later on, though, when one occurs. I'm sure one will occur.
Yeah, I'll get Bora, hopefully, and we'll be all good. Also, yeah, this is Wed. I didn't introduce you. My very helpfully helping me with commentary. He's another runner of this game.
Hello, I'm emotional support.
Yeah. The token American in the chat. Alright, so I mentioned like side areas and challenges earlier. This will be the first one. I'm gonna skip into it by jumping into this corner. The loading zones for all the like side areas and secret stuff are way bigger than they need to be, and so quite often you can hit them like from places you're not supposed to. You're supposed to need to unlock this character first, Sheila, before we can use her in a different level, but that will be slow. So
yeah, it's a very big commonality throughout this game to just have loading zones conveniently placed in a way that casual players wouldn't ever really be able to reach, but they just happen to be in good areas for speedrunners to generally reach, with a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, there's not that many like side areas that you can't skip into in some way.
And none of them really matter in like this category in particular.
So Sheila's movement is quite different to Spyro's. She jumps really high, as you can tell. She's a kangaroo. There's a couple different like special jumps. You can do. I think the game calls it like an air hop, where you jump in the air. It's basically a double jump. And then there's this high jump, which the game calls a double jump, where you jump and then land and jump again, and you go really high.
And then if you want to go into real specifics, we have some very nice, somewhat frame perfect movement tech with Sheila as well. That it hardly saves any time if you ever go for them. But
is this the like
kick cancel high jumps?
Oh right, though yeah, trying to like high jump again after a kick cancel, that's really tight.
Yeah,
but just kick cancelling in general is pretty easy. You just kind of kick as you're going upwards, and it cuts your height, which is good if you don't need the full height of the jump.
So a pretty important distinction with this category, especially versus like shorter ones, there's a lot more emphasis on getting proxies with shorter categories. Well, with 117, you have to go everywhere anyway. So a lot of times, certain proxy tricks, which once again we'll explain when we get to one.
You saw them in 100%, it's fine.
It means that you generally need to have multiple routes in your head in this category. Because you might go for one of the proxies, which overall, throughout just routing the level, maybe saves like 5 seconds. Which is still time save, so might as well go for the route. But at the same time, you're either piecing together a small part of a level, or you are completely changing the order of how you do the entire level, and can vary between being very easy to keep up with what you're doing, or completely missing out on sections because you just forgot where you are.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing everyone remembers about this game, and about Spyro in general, to be honest, is the skateboarding. Even when you're not playing this game, like you're playing Spyro 2 or something, people will ask, oh, is this the game with the skateboarding?
I don't really know why they do that either. The skateboarding... I don't think the skateboarding is that good. Maybe I'm just...
It's memorable.
It's memorable.
I loved it as a kid. But yeah, there's 4 skateboarding sections in this game. The first 2 are in kind of like skate parks like this, where you just kind of go around like collecting stuff, like it's kind of free form. And then the last 2 are races. But the goal here is to kill all these lizards. You do it twice, and so we split up the gem collecting between the 2 goes around. Oh, I missed a red gem there, that's kind of annoying, but I can get it the second time.
There's a lot of actually like small specific things in the skateboarding section too. There's a lot of specific angles that you're going at towards the lizards to make sure they actually go the direction you want them to go. There's one in particular that you'll really be able to notice right at the start of this second part.
Hopefully I can get it. This might not work. Yeah, I overshot that first lizard. I can still get him here though, hopefully. Yeah, okay. That didn't lose too much.
Yeah.
You want to get like a smaller jump off that ramp so that you can like get one of the lizards a bit earlier than I did, but that ended up being okay.
Luckily, that's one of the best ones to miss. Some of them can just completely ruin the route if you miss them, especially the ones up on that top area.
Yeah.
Off of the ramp.
Also, something to note, on this second time through, if you crash, you have to start again. The first time, if you fall off your skateboard, you can just get back on and continue, but this one you have to get them all in one go.
You also have to watch out for that timer there. It might run out, maybe.
I forgot that red gem. I missed a red gem the first time through and forgot to get it the second time through. I'm thinking, like, why don't I have all the gems? What's this? Alright, and that's 1 level done. Out of many.
Yeah, something to note about this game versus the other 2 is, yeah, if you look at the speedrun leaderboards, this game is a lot longer than 1 and 2. It's actually...
Yeah, it's like 80% longer than Spyro 2. It's pretty...
It's actually about the length of both of them combined.
Yeah,
I think it's
probably.
a little bit under. And a lot of that's just, it's not even the levels particularly being bigger. It's either having, you don't have as fast movement as Spyro 1, but they completely revamped the engine. You don't have anything like really glitch heavy like Spyro 2 with its double jump. And it's just in general, everything's more linear and there's a lot more like mini games that focus on being mini games.
Yeah. Yeah, when we get to Agent 9, you can expect some weirdness there. That's quite a way away, not until the last time world, but in a couple of hours you'll see Agent 9 go a bit crazy. And hello to all the Spyro people in the chat, by the way. I think I saw Deo before and some other people.
Yeah, shout out to Deo and Randy for coming in. Some good Spyro people.
God. Yeah, so I'm doing a slightly difficult route for Sun Seeds here. This last one is quite tricky. Catching him here while getting all those gems, and then also the hitting him the very last time from the ground level.
The extra 17% in the game comes from all super bonus round. So the game actually kind of mathematically goes through the percentages in the game and make sure that the initial 149 eggs and 15,000 gems evaluates to 100% based off of whatever math that they have going on in the game. And it just so happens that all of the additional stuff in Super Bonus Round adds up to an extra 17%.
Yeah, you just get like 5,000 gems and an egg in one level at the end. First Superfly power up. I'll be getting some of the gems here with the Superfly. This route's pretty cool.
Oh, you do this route.
Yeah, it saves like 2 seconds and it's
this.
not too difficult. So yeah, you just get like 3 of the gems during the super flight, but it reduces the amount of time you have to spend running around afterwards. Also, that thief, if you do the flight correctly, he ends up right there and you can just snipe him after, like, as soon as you gain control. It's really awesome.
So there's a little thing that's done right at the end of this side area. If you jump as you're exiting a side area, it actually maintains your momentum, but it's not really useful anywhere except for this specific area. Having the extra height exiting allows you to start gliding a lot higher up, allowing you to just skip up to this top area a lot, or not even a lot easier, just period.
Yeah, you would normally have to pay money bags to get up here, like, activate this bellows thing. But there will only be either 2 or 3 money bags payments in this run, depending on whether I get a trick. Which is much less than necessary, than normally necessary. You can beat the game for like max completion without paying money bags at all, but a couple of them are kind of maybe not worth skipping or kind of rely on some hard stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if there's actually a route made where all of the skips in are faster. Like, I think, for instance,
Nitroff's Icy Peak is actually a tiny bit faster than the normal one. Not by
I was thinking
much,
of Frozen
but...
Altars.
Oh, I think that is. I was under the impression it was, but I could be wrong. Oh, come on.
I could be wrong too.
Yeah.
You're probably more up to date than I am.
Possibly. Yeah, there's actually been quite a lot of like little route changes in this category recently. Nitrovsky, who wrote the book on this category, is kind of back running it actively and has been rerouting stuff. And when I say wrote the book, what I mean is made the TAS.
Yeah, quite a few of the routes for a while were still all made by Nitrovsky. Up for a good while, till we had other people working on the categories. We got a few other routes in. Then Nitroff came back and made it so all of his routes are the fastest ones again.
So yeah, Hunter gives us this egg after like teaching us to glide, but we've already been playing for like 15 minutes, so we know what we're doing. And cool little swim in here. You would have seen this in the 80% run a couple times as well. It's not too difficult. Getting out of bounds on that wall with the Superfly power-up is a little bit tricky, but the actual swim in air is really lenient. Water in this game doesn't really exist. It's just like planes that trigger swim, and if you can hit one of them from out of bounds, you can swim in air.
Yeah, anything that gets you to cause a swim trigger but not actually enter the water is fair game when it happens. Whether that's, well, actually that happens everywhere. Technically, when you swim in a pool of water in this game, you are swimming in air, but you're just contained in the area, so you can't really exit it. Technicalities,
Yeah.
you know?
So we're back playing as Sheila in her actual level now. The way that side characters work is they have their own level, and once you beat, and you normally have to pay money bags to get into it, and then once you beat that level, you can use that character in the other places that they exist as well. But we often don't need to bother with the doing it in the intended order. There's a couple places where that would require you to backtrack as well, because there's like a level in one world will have like a mini game with a character from the next world, so you would normally have to come back. But we can skip past all the backtracks in this game.
Yeah,
Which is
luckily
convenient.
all the portals that are those instances we can happen to skip into.
Yeah, they're all really easy as well, the backtrack skips. Like you don't need to really practice it much. You could do that like in a casual playthrough if you really wanted to.
Can I jump in with a couple donos?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we got $11.55 from Zia, who said, didn't know there was an Aussie event for speedrunners. Happy to see it. Stay safe, boys, and much love from Melbourne. And also $30.68 from Lazy Pirate, who says, hope everybody has been having fun. Please put this towards West of Loathing. So that's the incentive for the very next run after this one, which is currently $170 out of $200 for the incentive to be met. So make sure to get those in before that run starts.
So yeah, I've just been running around breaking the mushroom houses and killing the Rhinox. You have to break them all, like break everything in this area to make the goat like progress and be able to finish the level. But once we've done that, we can just clean up and make use of the time while Bobby's just like running forward.
This outside area at the end is also one of the rare instances in the game that actually has RNG. Just properly being able to deal with all of the Rhinox outside optimally can be a chore. It's also pretty easy to get one to just slip away through your peripherals.
So occasionally you'll see me wait for just like a fraction of a second after finishing, or like finishing my route in a level, just to make sure that the like 400 out of 400 or whatever pops up for the gems. Sometimes I won't do that because I'll just be confident that I got everything, but if I'm maybe not confident, I'll wait. And later in the run, you actually get a power-up thing that lets you like you can make sparks point to nearby gems, but we don't have that until about halfway through the run. So hopefully here I'll get a proxy. I got this in any percent earlier, so hopefully I can repeat that. Nice. Yeah. So that is a... it's an animation proxy, I guess. The ball puffs out his body, and you glide on top of it and charge at the right time, and you go wee.
That's actually a much more rare type of proxy in the game. So, proxies in this game, there are a few different kinds of ones. You have a living body proxy, which are usually animation proxies. You have corpse proxies, or proxies off of an enemy's dying body. Or you have ones called squeeze proxies, where you get yourself wedged into a very small space. And the principle behind a proxy is you are, in certain animations in this game, at least in the cases of like animation proxies and dead body proxies, if you're charging in this game, your hitbox has precedence over most things in the game. And when you leave the charging animation, that's no longer the case. So if you're able to get yourself into another hitbox in the game and get yourself to not be charging anymore, you can get Spyro to just fly out of that hitbox as fast as it can as a failsafe mechanism to keep you from getting stuck. And the case with squeeze proxies is you just simply put Spyro in a space that's too small for him to fit. The game tries to stop him from being stuck and then just flings him out.
Yeah. And then when I was in, like, basically I used that to skip into the thieves area, which you would normally have to pay money bags for. It doesn't save a lot of time, actually. It's pretty minor, but
yeah, that route change is like 2 seconds, maybe. It's really small. Might be more now, actually, considering some of the route stuff that Nitroff did. Also, yeah, Dak entered the Sergeant Bird area unintentionally. You might not have been able to tell because the game designers set up platforms very conveniently to do it.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Also, this is Sergeant Bird. He's kind of annoying to control. Especially if in areas like this where you need to kind of move back and forth a lot and there's like break baskets and stuff. He gets a bit better once you have the extended sparks range. That makes things a lot nicer, but for now we have to be quite precise with movement. Basically,
his movement's very much an acquired taste.
Basically, you hold both strafe buttons and it like locks him in a direction and makes him fly faster. And it makes him more controllable, but it just means you can't really turn without like letting go of the strafe buttons, and it just makes it a little bit awkward. Oh god. And then all the heads. Worst characters to play as in Spyro 3. I mean, Bentley's the least interesting. But I don't know if I'd say worst. Agent 9 is frustrating, but he's like got a lot of skill requirement, so.
I'm probably personally going to give it to Sheila.
Yeah?
Sheila's got a combination of not being interesting and also being hard to control.
Fair. Yeah, now we're kind of at the back of the level, and that key that I just collected is one of the reasons why doing this level backwards is convenient. I need health. Okay. Because there's a key chest right at the start of the level, and you obviously need that key to open it. So skipping to the end and then coming back is nice.
There's also a just complete full-out backwards route through this level, but it makes a lot of this outdoor section really annoying to go through. This area feels a lot more like it's made to be gone through forwards. So trying to collect everything going through it backwards can just be very, very awkward. Supposedly saves time though, so
Yeah, kind of end in the middle here. I haven't been streaming for 31 hours, but the marathon has. We're kind of switching between people. Alright. Awesome. Okay. Collecting gems underwater is a bit of a pain. If you, like, cut a corner slightly too tight or miss something, it's really annoying to turn around.
on the bright side, Sparks' range is actually farther underwater.
That's true. Alright, now we have our first speedway. These are all basically the same. They have 3 challenges. One is a race, one's like a time trial where you have to collect a bunch of objects, and one is a challenge with Hunter, which varies from speedway to speedway. The races are kind of scary because they're long, and if you mess it up a little bit, you can end up having to redo the whole thing, which obviously loses tons of time.
And as speedrunners, we decided to go back and go fast, which means that we go for way more frame savers than we usually need to.
Yeah,
Actually makes it depends on the person.
Yeah.
That's a personal problem for me. Resetting on mushroom is fun because you didn't save 0.1 seconds.
Yeah, I definitely don't go for everything in this race. Oh, how did I miss that start? So yeah, basically you want to fly as low as possible. You go faster if you're lower to the ground. And you also want to use the blue stars because they give you a speed boost. And also, supercharging is usually faster than flying.
Just a general reminder that speedways ruin this category.
Just to boom things.
Another, like, kind of interesting little thing to pick up with speedways is depending on the angle that you hit the ground, it actually makes your charge jump coming out a lot faster. It can make it a lot easier to make specific jumps that are done.
And yeah, someone's saying the way I'm going through the rings is anxiety-inducing. Yeah, the ring, especially in the races, the rings are way bigger than they look. The rings in the time trials are still a little bit bigger than they look, but not by much. But the race rings are enormous.
It's going to be a pretty cool bit of routing coming up if that gets it correct.
I was practicing this earlier, so hopefully I will. The Hunter challenge here, you have to shoot down a bunch of UFOs in his like aeroplane, I guess. And if you do it right, you can do it very, very quickly. First you have to find Hunter. Alright, let's do this. Nice, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That is very hard to do.
Yeah, if you don't get that, they end up kind of getting out of... I mean, they go in consistent patterns, so you know where they're going to be, but chasing them down is pretty slow. Alright, now we have the obligatory water level. It's only partly underwater, and it's not too bad. Certainly somewhere where small movement mistakes can cost you a lot of time. You can get some gems through the wall here. That took longer than normal, but still okay.
This level, due to its extra level or extra amount of depth being that you can swim, can make it quite a nightmare to route out the water sections.
Got an extra
Just
dimension.
an extra element. Yeah. Especially that starting area, it's very cluttered.
Yeah, there was a change there recently, actually getting those 3 bottles at the start instead of at the end of the
Yeah, I
when you come back
noticed
through.
that. I was wondering how new that was.
Yeah, Nitroff found that it was faster quite recently.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Let's do this instead then. That's not gonna work. Yeah, okay. I was kind of wanting to get a proxy off one of those guys, because there's some gems high up in that room, but my setups were all terrible. So we go the intended way instead.
Proxies off of those seashell Rhinox are especially interesting, at least in my opinion. You have to make sure that you jump into charging into the enemies, because you actually recuperate from a bonk a lot faster if you bonk into something in the air.
Yeah.
And that just allows you to get enough time.
Alright, see Sheila again. There's a hidden egg up here, and then we got the sandcastle challenge, which is pretty slow. Can I get the camera lock here? Yes, nice. Normally Sheila would like turn around to face the egg there, but if you lock the camera in at the right time, you can lock it during the cutscene, not have to turn around.
Got one of the 2 frame perfect inputs.
Yeah, if you get it exactly right, Sheila will walk forward during that cutscene and just walk all the way out of the cave.
That's only been gotten like a very small handful of times,
Yeah.
though.
I've got it, but not there. Like I've got it somewhere else, just randomly.
Yeah, and I want to say the only person that's gotten it there, in that specific spot, is Nerfrip, and that's like just once. Also, yeah, you don't need to head bash the very top of those cannons. The hitbox for the cannon muzzle works just fine to break them.
Oh yeah, the sand blocks don't need to be broken. Most of them get broken anyway, just from the explosions, but you certainly don't need to go out of your way for them.
I jump in for a quick dono here.
Go ahead, yeah.
Alright, so we got $32.97 from Upjohn, who says, I just have to make sure that the scariest donation incentive is met. Hope you are ready to be spooked. And best of luck to Dact. So that went to the West of Loathing incentive for all booze, and that has now been met. So
Awesome.
thank you very much for those. And got one more donation here for $1 from Richard Playstuff. It says, happy almost 5 a.m. from the UK. Had to donate what I could during Spyro 3. A great game that started it all for me. Much love to everybody involved in Oz Speedruns, and throw this to the Shah Glitch exhibition. Cheers.
Awesome. And thanks, both of you. Thanks, Upjohn, for the good luck. So that water tunnel there, people who played this as a kid may have bad memories of that. That is not easy when you're kind of new and uncoordinated.
It's not even considered easy for some runners.
Yeah, I haven't missed it in a while, but it's still always scary.
It's definitely something that people still screw up even when they're veterans.
I'm on blue here, which is not normal. I should be gold.
That's scarier.
Yeah, should be fine.
Yeah,
So,
it looks like you got the setup pretty good.
Kind of manipulate this boss so that you end up right on top of one of the boxes and it spawns underneath you. I'm still Sparkless though, but you could take a damage, like a death abuse here, but I'd prefer to just do this area Sparkless, so I've practiced it a bit.
I think you're the first person I've heard say that.
Oh no, okay, that sucks. Oh my god! How is that not collecting? Is this gem like intangible? Okay, it's better. The death abuse would have been faster than that, but if I hadn't missed that gem, it would have been better.
Luckily, the gems after this area are all in pretty straight lines too. So.
No, I just get the.
Oh, do you?
The fodder
there. I actually never remember that fodder is in that spot.
It's really convenient.
I usually just death abuse in Bluto, so I just forget.
That wasn't supposed to be a call out. Young kids are mostly kind of unco. That's what I was referring to.
It's time for that high action boss fight that we've been waiting for.
Yeah. Whoa, that was like an instant menu. What the hell? Normally Spyro like does he turns around on the balloon to get in the right spot, but I must have landed exactly on it. So yeah, this boss fight is like there's not really much to it. You manipulate it so that it's the same every time. Buzz charges at you, but he won't charge himself off the edge. And so by standing right at the edge here, he will stop before he reaches you. And then if you look away from him, he won't do any of his other attacks. He like spits fire at you and does like a flame wall shield thing, but he won't do any of it if he's off camera.
Yeah, if it's not on the screen, it's not happening. There's a few places that stuff like that is used in the run, but they're very easy to just not notice them. Yeah, SRT Buzz is actually a pain. You have to fight him like normal, casual kind of strateges.
You have to actually do the fight. What is this?
Optimally, you have to think about when you're going to death abuse, or not death abuse, damage abuse, and where.
Okay, so now we have the first Sparks level. There's going to be 4 of these. Sparks can do some cool stuff. He can kind of climb walls. So we can just completely skip the tutorial. You'll be seeing those out of bounds in all of the Sparks levels, actually. That was the only one in this one, but you'll see that later in the run as well. But yeah, that tutorial section doesn't have any gems in it, so we can just kind of skip straight to the end, but the rest we actually have to collect stuff. It's really important to keep the rapid fire power up. That is way better than any of the other power-ups. It just melts everything. Because everything does the same amount of damage, and so if you can just get lots of shots... And nothing really has iframes either in the Sparks levels. So if you can just get lots of hits in, you deal tons of damage. Come on. Okay, I wanted that health.
Also, someone wants to find an out of bounds in Crawdad that's earlier in the level. The community would be very gracious. Not for this category though.
Oh, for 149 egg, right?
149 egg is very important, but you know, the real men's category.
Yeah, so 149 egg is a different category. It used to just be a meme category, but a few people have actually taken it seriously and optimized it. But it's basically just get all of the eggs except for the very last one, because the very last one requires you to get max completion, so it would be the same as 117.
I like to describe it as 100 egg, but double the length.
It's 117 without all the gems. And this is also why the rapid fire is very good, because it just melts bosses. You just kind of sit next to its nose and hold X and it just dies.
That is the key strategy that you actually should be seeing for every boss in the Sparks levels.
Yeah.
Nice work.
And I should be on 3,000 gems now. Yep. Good. So I have everything in the first time lots. So theoretically we're like a quarter of the way through the run, but the levels get longer as you get further through, so it's actually less than a quarter.
Okay, Dre.
Shortly, we're going to be coming up to the second swim and air in the run. This one's particularly different.
Hopefully it goes better than it did in 80%. It's pretty terrible. I'm not a fan of this swim. Sometimes it feels easy, and then other times you just miss it like 5 times in a row. Kind of wedge yourself in here and swim it. Okay, that was much better. Swim at the right time and you go through the scenery. So we hit that. That unlocks Enchanted Towers. We won't be going in there for a while, but it's just convenient to open it while we have the Fireball power up.
This is also the first time that we're entering a level from out of bounds.
No, we did that with Sheila as well.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, we didn't explain it at the time, so
yeah.
it's good to bring that up.
Every level that isn't open yet has the portal stored underneath the given like actual portal space. That's just how the devs designed it. It is very convenient.
Yeah. Means if you can get out of bounds, you can just kind of skip into stuff very easily.
And the devs were very gracious for people first starting out in the game and learning about the out of bounds portals. By every portal in Sunrise Spring actually has like what we call a mustache over top of it, so that you can tell exactly where the portal is.
So,
The rest of the game doesn't have that, but it's at least nice to at least get an idea of where they might be putting portals in the rest of the game.
Yeah, like going into this level, I didn't have any visual indication for where the portal is, so I just had to kind of know where to go. It's not uncommon for people to just swim right past that portal. Did I get that? Yeah, I did. Okay.
I'd probably argue it's the one that people end up missing the most.
Yeah, maybe. I find Spooky Swamp in 80% is a pain. People miss that all the time. I miss that kind of frequently.
Yeah, especially if you're charging out of bounds, it can be quite a pain.
So this level is probably the easiest level in the game to miss gems in. You don't have the like gem finder yet, so you can't check when you're missing stuff really, or like where stuff is if you've missed it. And the layout of this level is just a mess.
I'd also say it's one of the harder levels to optimize, mostly because it is a mess.
Yeah, it's all just side and bird movement going all over the place.
Of course, the hardest one to optimize is Agent 9's lab, but we'll get there when the time comes.
Do that. I think my capture software just lagged a tiny bit, so my audio might be delayed. I'll fix that next loading screen.
There's a nice commonality with the Sergeant Bird area, or Sergeant Bird areas in this game. The rockets like to home in on things, but they like to very lazily home in on things, causing them to very commonly just weave between objects.
Or they'll home in on the wrong thing. And...
yeah. They have a weird level of precedence as well, that is for sure. Something that actually did manage to fix in the remasters, those rockets are actually too good.
Yeah, I remember when playing SRT, the bird rockets are pretty OP.
You can get clips of them just straight up turning on a dime and going backwards.
Wow.
It's absurd.
Mission accomplished.
Gem drop locations, they're random to an extent. Like they kind of pop out and have a bit of random direction that they go in. Some gems specifically have the ability to fall off ledges, but they don't always, and then some gems are completely fixed. They'll always go off a ledge or always land in the same place.
I'm pretty sure for all of them, at least the general direction that they're heading, their angle to a degree is consistent. But yeah, there's some that are dead set on landing in very precise locations.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones that you'll see that just launch out from a container, way further away than the rest of the gems.
Yeah, there was a gem on the lava, a blue gem on the lava that I got just a bit ago, and that wouldn't normally be there. That would normally be on the little edge above it.
You'll actually be seeing one of those gems that launches away right after this level.
Okay.
One of the ones from the head bash container in Spooky Swamp.
Screen went black for a
Decides
second
to
there.
go.
That was my fault. Alright. Get a snipe on this dude. That guy's a pain if you don't get him there. He jukes you a lot if you try and chase him around the track. But thankfully coming out of that level is a really easy setup.
Lol, just aim for the tree.
Exactly. Shoutouts to the video tutorial I made for Jeremy for doing that thief. Because he kept missing it when he picked up 100 egg, and I made a tutorial for him.
Lol, just aim for the tree.
Hmm. Alright, Spooky Swamp. All the
that's
NPCs
never
speaking.
running.
Yeah, that little wave doing the first area is pretty cool. That's another Nitro special.
117 is the Nitro special.
Mm. So all the NPCs here speak in haiku. You won't really get to see it, but that's just a nice bit of trivia for you if you aren't familiar with the game. This is a little mini boss. There's not too much to it. You just hit his bombs back at him, and then he throws crocodiles at you and you kill them. And
Fun
repeat.
fact though, if you don't like the boss camera, you can actually get rid of it by charge jumping over the boss right at the start. It makes the fight a lot harder. So have fun with that if you ever want to.
You want an extra challenge in your mini bosses.
If you want your bombs to never actually go where you want them to go.
Alright, so this next area, it's a Sheila challenge. It's an escort mission. It's I'm gonna go for a 1 cycle here, and I hope I get it because I've been practicing it a bunch. I don't have it in my PB, I only learned it quite recently. But I guess technically it's a 2 cycle because you go through it twice, but I'm gonna try and get all of the gems, like during the 2, like escorts, rather than going back through for some of them.
Definitely changes this from a relatively boring mission to being actually quite tense.
Yeah.
You only have like 1 or 2 seconds of leeway on both sides, and it's pretty easy to use up a full second.
Especially if you miss a ground pound on something. Like if you miss ground
Yep.
pounding one of these chests, it really screws things up.
Yeah, I think you can get away with missing maybe 1 ground pound if your movement is really good.
Yeah, we're good for here. And then I want to break as many of these containers as I can so that I can clean up at the end of the second one. Okay, good. So I got all the gems at the back, which is quite nice. And then this second one is weird, because you have to be careful not to go too fast. Because these rocks, once you break them, they do come back eventually. And if you go too fast through this one, you end up breaking one of the rocks, and it comes back by the time the guy gets to it. So I'm gonna stomp on some things that I could just kick, and it just helps to get the timing right. And then I'm gonna count 1, 2, and then break that. Then come up here, clear this all out. Okay, we good. Actually made that by a lot.
That section of gems up there in the cave is actually very, very particular. There's one of the few, like, problem gems in that section. One of the ones in the back, if you don't pay enough attention, could just straight up not home in.
Yeah, you kind of have to almost walk over it to make sure it gets to you. So yeah, that was really good. I got everything during the 2 missions. It was pretty tight, but I'm happy I got that. If you don't, then you can just go back through and you're fine, but obviously...
Thank you for verifying the run, by the way.
What'd you say?
Thank you for verifying the run right there.
Oh, with Thelonious glitch, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that, like, that's not even just for swag, because it gives you a better camera angle.
Yeah, I do it for the same reason, but I still say that it's run verification.
Yeah, I forgot it was a thing. But yeah, if you're like facing the camera away from the end of level guy when you speak to him, the gem like spawns underneath you and you get that weird effect. Yeah, my audio's lagging again. I need to do something about that. Also, one of the things about this category especially that I'm kind of working on trying to get better at is getting gems from like chests that have multiple gems in them, like these. There's like ways to optimize collecting them, like picking certain gems out of the air and making sure that you get everything.
It is definitely something that adds up over time.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it was just a joke. There was an egg that I got in a weird way. It's like a in-joke.
Yep.
Okay.
This is one of those levels that can actually have 2 radically different routes, depending on what happens.
Honestly, if I miss boulder, I'll just do the backup jumps. Because I can't...
Okay.
I haven't done the no boulder route in ages. I don't trust myself to be able to do it quickly.
It's actually not too bad.
Yeah, I did
Just
that in
do
the
inside
Spyro
ring,
race.
outside ring.
Yeah. I missed Boulder in the Spyrothon race, but thankfully got it this time. So yeah, squeeze proxy between the boulder and the wall gets you up on here, and you can skip right to the end, to this boat area. Cool thing you can do here, so there's these Rhinox that fall out of the sky later in the challenge, and they already exist. They are kind of stored in certain spots in the air, and you can shoot them if you know where they are, and they just won't spawn later, and you can save a bit of time with it.
More recently, if you really hate yourself, you can also just completely skip the boat.
Yeah.
So then you just get up on one of the roofs and snipe down all of the guys from up there.
So hopefully this guy will spawn, and I'll kill him, and it'll be... Oh, okay, I missed. Hopefully I got both of them on the last bridge, because that's the important bit. Yeah, okay, it just ends. There's another bridge that would normally have 2 more Rhinox that float down, but because I'd already killed both of them, it doesn't... Like, it just ends once you've killed them all. And then again, we're kind of at the end of the level, and so we just clear out this like end section and then head back through like backwards. And the reason for that is there's a particular gem container called a mystery jar that kind of moves backwards through the level each time you hit it. And so being able to do that is oh yeah, that was a weird thing I just did. I always forget that that's not normal. You get a swim in air off the waterfall, that's really easy. But then there's an egg stored under that bridge. There's normally an egg thief that spawns after you get this, so like after this cutscene. But its egg is just stored underneath that bridge. And so if you get it early, then the egg thief just never spawns and you have the egg. So this is the first time we see Bentley. Not too much to say about his movement, really. I'll just be climbing this mountain and getting gems.
Big club man.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of small things that you can do with him to try to optimize your movement, but it's really nothing like special. It's going in straighter lines.
This is something that they improved a lot in the remake. Bentley is so much better in Reignited.
I guess one of the neat things is throughout the entire animation of Bentley swinging his club, it deals damage, meaning that you're able to actually break multiple things at once if you properly aim your swing.
I always miss that. You can damage boost up there if you get a TNT spawn. I'm really bad at it though. Alright, now we get to deal with the mystery jar and go back through the level, like the main part of the level that we skipped. Yeah. So you can get these glides after you hit the mystery jar during the cutscene, just little optimizations. And with this one, hit it and then dive in the water.
So there's like one sole thing in this route that ends up making this level slightly awkward. And that's There's actually one Rhinoc in particular in this level that doesn't even spawn in unless you go through a certain like trigger area. So you purposefully end up missing some gems so that you can go back and kill that Rhinoc before you go and finish the rest of the level.
Yeah, this guy. Where's the... There's a photo around here, isn't there? No? Okay.
Oh no, it's right by the bridge.
I didn't see it.
You also could have just gone for the extra lives.
Oh, it's over here. Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that. Oh, we're fine. Bit slow, but hey, come. I can't see, he's blending too much with the grass.
Someone didn't pick green, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Alright, now we're gonna get some extra stuff in the home world that we haven't got yet. Kind of break these flower pots. Gets you an egg, and then there's another egg on top of this ladder as well. I mean, I had a version of this game just lying around from when I was a kid, but not this one, because I'm playing on the American version of the game, which I had to import. I'm short a gem. I should have ending in 00 here. I don't know where that's from.
It's not in any of the levels.
Yeah, I think it's
because you've been waiting.
Yeah, and I definitely had everything coming out of Sunrise, so I think it's just in midday almost. So we will find that a bit later.
Guess in the meantime, I'll try to think of where it could be.
Yeah. It might have just been, like, near bamboo or something. There's a bunch of gems that are kind of lying there.
Yeah.
But no, I guess to continue where I was going, I'm playing this on an American PS2. It's a PS1 game. I think the layout might say PS2, but it is a PS1 game, but I'm playing on a PS2, which is what most people do. It's either that or PS TV, which is like a home version of a PS Vita, or it's like a weird thing, but it is technically faster for this game. But yeah, most people play on PS2. And the PAL version, like the Euro or Aussie version, is completely runnable for this game. It is slower, the physics are a bit different, and there's a few things that are not possible. And a few extra things that are only possible on PAL. But it ends up being slower. But it is completely runnable.
One of the core things that really changed it between NTSC and PAL is that PAL is a lot harder to do proxies in, and Spyro 3, especially the shorter categories, are very reliant on proxies, so it can be a problem in those shorter categories at time.
Yeah. PAL also has slower loads, which is weird, I don't know why, but...
It's that slower frame rate.
Yeah. It's not one of these games that just like runs at 5/6 speed. It's not an N64 game. They actually did some stuff to account for the frame rate difference, but it's not exactly the same.
It's a very jank accommodation. Same thing with Crash. They increased the movement speed and height, but they didn't really get them exactly to like a 1-to-1 scale. So as a result, Spyro actually moves slightly faster usually on the PAL versions and jumps slightly higher, but the loads easily overtake that. Or at least that's a notable thing in Spyro 1.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, the higher jumps applies to all the games, but I don't know if he actually runs faster on Cartoon 3.
He definitely goes faster in 1, but yeah, I can't actually say with 100% certainty for 2 and 3.
So yeah, just been going through the speedway. It's pretty similar to the first one. You just do the race and then the time trial. And then we have the Hunter Challenge. This time we enter through the race, because it's slightly faster. You need to be quite careful not to hit that first ring, because if you do, then you like go off course if you head towards Hunter and have to start again. Now this is just 100% an auto-scroller. Nothing you can do to speed this up. I guess now's a good time for donations or anything, if there is anything.
There's no more donos, but we'll just go with talking about what we're doing here. So we're Oz Speedruns, and we're a group doing events just like these to raise money for different charities. And for this event, we're raising money for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, and they're a charity who provide emergency and primary healthcare services to people who live in remote and rural areas all the way across Australia. And Australia is a very large place, so there are quite a lot of rural and remote areas. So they're a very essential service for people who work and live in those areas. So if you'd like to donate, just head over to donate.ozspeedruns.com.
One weird thing in this challenge, so I'm playing on the 1.0 version, like the original Black Label version. There's a few differences between that and the Greatest Hits version. And one of the really random ones that doesn't actually affect anything, but it's just kind of annoying, is that you don't get any sound effects in this challenge. The sound effects play, but you're too far away from them to actually hear them. So like if you kill one of the UFOs when it's right next to you, you'll hear the sound effect, but most of them you're way too far away. On the Greatest Hits version they fixed that, so you actually hear all the sound effects, but we just get to watch it in silence. Let's have a quick look if I missed a gem over here, actually.
Are there yeehaw sound effects in Greatest Hits?
Yeah. Wait, yeehaw
There
sound
are?
effects? What do you mean?
Like, when you save the cowboy, is there actually like a
Oh.
yeehaw?
No, I think it's just when you kill the stuff.
that-
They go moo when you shoot them.
Okay. I haven't played 1.1 in so long, and I know the SRT has yeehaws in it,
Oh, okay.
which single-handedly makes it a better challenge to me.
True.
Also, welcome to probably the second most likely level to miss gems in.
Yes. This level is all over the place. The like path through the level is very confusing. Actually, yeah, I did. And these green enemies are a mess. You're supposed to spit rocks at them with Spyro, but we can do something called an angled flame to hit them out of the air. You just kind of flame and then charge and then jump, and the flame goes up. Oh, I missed a rocket. I did that in the any % run as well. No, I didn't do it in the any % run, but I did it in practice, so yeah. That's silly.
I apologize for not saying RIP headphone users.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone's ears that are still bleeding, I deeply apologize.
Alright, more skateboarding time.
Fun fact, for some reason on the emulator version, or if you decide to get this game on an emulator, the statue explosion sound effects are significantly louder for some reason.
Yeah, they're already really loud, but it's like even worse on MU. So yeah, now we get a little tutorial for how to do skateboard tricks, and then after that's done, we get a freestyle challenge. The idea is just to beat Hunter, get more points than him, but Hunter sucks, and so it's really easy to get more points. And so we're also going to get all of the gems in this area during that challenge as well, and probably still have a bunch of time left over.
A fun little thing about some of the tricks in this game is you can actually do a 180 turn without even actually initiating a spin on a half pipe. Meaning that when Hunter first tells you to do a 180, you can actually just go up and down the ramp and it counts. Like, you could just treat it as like a normal ramp.
I'm thinking you're
Alright,
Also
so
nice, you got the optimization there with the basket. That's actually
Yeah.
like deceptively difficult.
The idea is just to land on the thing, because then it ends the thing quicker. It doesn't really save any time to get the gem, but yeah, actually, that's always nice. Oh, God, I hate that. Try and do some jumps, because it makes you go faster and you can actually hit this balloon, but I messed it up.
Now, because there's a set timer for this challenge, pretty much every runner actually has a different route for this challenge.
Yeah, and
I
it
know,
doesn't
like-
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. I think
As
for
long as you get
instance,
enough
like
points.
I think for instance the route I do ends up like 45 seconds left or so, usually. I also like to abuse riding on walls everywhere. Just have some fun, you know.
This is like the only time in the run where you get like time to step away from the game if you need to as well. This run's quite like tiring. It's long. It's, if you're new, it's like well over 3 hours, and you don't really get any like time to not do anything. Like now, I've got like 30 seconds where I can take a drink or whatever. But yeah, the walls in this area are quite funky.
There's a couple areas in particular that it's pretty easy to get out of bounds just because of how the skateboard works.
I love that crash you can get right as he teleports you when you do that animation in the cutscene.
My favorite usual strategy with that is if you run into the skateboard like right as the challenge is fading out, you'll actually see the skateboard still spawned in like right where you're talking to Hunter, and it'll just be sitting there.
I was trying to break this thing with a rock, but I missed it. So I had to head bash it instead. You hold it. Is the short answer to that.
The speedrun strategy is called the gamer bucket.
Oh god. I do not condone this behavior.
I don't either. I'm just saying that it's an option. One of those 2 gems ended up falling down to the death plane. Conveniently, if that happens in this game, it will just automatically collect you as soon as it hits that death plane.
Yeah. You kind of have to watch out for that one though, because sometimes it does fall off and sometimes it doesn't. So you need to be aware.
Very true.
Okay. Clean up the gems. So you're
Of course,
supposed
there
to.
was someone that used it.
Oh yeah, of course. You're supposed to escort a dog through this area, but we won't really see the dog, unfortunately. Farley is unnecessary. He was
kind
right
of a
down there,
shame.
so.
It's kind of a shame too because his pathfinding's actually quite hilarious if you speedrun through this area. There's a certain few key areas that cause Farley to move as like a failsafe. One of them in particular is the door that Dak just went through very recently, and it causes Farley to just like drop down from a gap and then clip through the wall.
Yeah, I remember that. So to beat the game normally, you're supposed to get 100 eggs to unlock the final boss. You need to get gems to pay money bags for things. There's various places where you're supposed to have to buy stuff. But yeah, we skip all that. So this is the only level where you can play the same area, like the same part of the level with two different characters. You can play the main level as Sergeant Bird and as Spyro. And there's some stuff that only Bird can get and some stuff only Spyro can get. It's a really neat concept.
So there's actually some specific cycles here that Dak is trying to go for with these boogers.
Oh.
The canonical name of these enemies, boogers.
Mm. Oh, good boy. Thankfully, they're not very tight.
Yeah. Really, a lot of it's just lining up for the very last guy.
Oh my god.
It's like the first couple ones,
Right,
and then the rest of them are
rockets.
pretty easy to make sure you get.
So that was a great example of Sergeant Bird's rockets being terrible. This guy and the guy behind him. Yeah, they just if the enemy is moving like perpendicular to you, it's really hard to hit them.
There's also the fact that with these enemies, you have to make sure that you look at them as they die, otherwise the gem will not spawn.
That's the
There'll be a
main
lot of
reason
ti-
for missing stuff here.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of times that you'll finish the level and you'll notice that you're missing 2 gems. So all you do is you fly a little bit to the left as Sergeant Bird, and suddenly your count goes up by 2.
Okay.
Here.
This looks like 2. No, you
No,
got
we're
it. You're
good.
still missing the 1 gem.
Yeah, I'm missing one in the home world, I think.
And it looks like it must have been in the back half.
Yeah, we'll find out once I get Gem Finder, like once I've done
Yeah.
Spyro. Yeah.
It's probably right next to Sergeant Bird, actually.
That's possible, yeah. There's a couple 1 gems there that you could potentially miss.
Yeah, actually, I think I know exactly which one it is. I think it's the one, like, right as you exit Sergeant Bird, when you drop off to the right, there's a gem right there at the very bottom, and I think it's that one.
It could be, yeah, for sure. So this level is one of the main reasons that I have a memory card in at the moment. Has a tendency to crash in certain spots. It's only happened to me a couple times ever, but I just don't want that to happen here, so I have autosave turned on. Autosave does lose time. Wow, nice. Good aim. Autosave does lose time, but it's not a lot, so for a marathon I'll take the time loss.
The common factors for the crashes in this level come from having too many things on screen at once. And the most common way to have it happen is to be too good with the cannons.
Yeah, you hit like 2 vultures in a row very quickly and the game just freezes. There's at least 2 places that can happen, maybe more.
The one last place that a crash can happen is inside of Nancy.
I've never had that.
You can force it, but it's inconsistent. I know an old runner, Parsofish, he would purposefully try to crash his game at Nancy sometimes on bad runs.
It breaks
He's
my
just like-
heart to hear you call Parso an old runner.
Well, he is now.
I know. Valued member of the Australian community.
I wouldn't say it that way if I hadn't. If I'd have heard from him in like the last 4 years. But yeah, Nancy, if you aim the camera in the right way and just start flaming a bunch and causing a bunch of smoke, you have the chance of the game crashing. And in rarer cases, I've actually managed to get some of the corrupt, or some textures to corrupt in the actual console version of the game from it. Yeah, no idea how that happened, but yeah, that was a thing.
So yeah, these exploding weasel things are a pain to deal with. They kind of slide all over the place. This is going okay so far. Okay, it's fine. You end up taking a lot of damage in this level, but it's kind of fine. Also, something I never pointed out, after we beat the first Sparks level, we got a power-up that increased the range of our gem collecting, which is really nice. The extended range helps a lot.
Yeah, every Sparks level actually has a power-up too. So the first one is the extended range. The second one has the Sparks Finder ability that we mentioned before to be able to find gems. The third one gives you an additional hit point, and the fourth one makes Sparks swole.
Yeah, he like breaks stuff for you. And it lets you warp to levels with the Atlas, which we will also make use of. So that's one of 2 times I'll pay moneybags in this run. You can avoid that, like you can skip into here, but it's a pain and requires a completely different route. It's just not something I've cared to look into too much. These guys always come out in the same pattern, so if you know the pattern, you can just sit at the things and kill them.
Here's a fun fact. Because of the limitations of a PS1, they couldn't really do like reflective properties too well. So instead of it being a reflection in the ice, it's actually it's a repeat of all of the objects, just flipped upside down. So it's just a doubling of all of the models. If you manage to somehow clip under the map, you would actually see that all of those buildings down there they're actually real and you can stand on them.
This is also the only level that has swimmable water where no one's found a swim in air yet.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It's in a very awkward spot to be able
Yeah.
to do it. And I think if one was found, it probably wouldn't be useful.
Yeah, I mean, those auto-scrolling minigames, they're fine. They're kind of all concentrated in this world, like in midday, which is a shame. If they were a bit more spread out, it would be nice. So I'm gonna try to do something called Double Thieves here. It relies on some RNG, so I might not be able to do it. But if this yellow thief runs in the right way, I'll be able to kill both thieves at the same time, and you get a funky-looking egg. Oh, I got the RNG, good. Let's not mess this up. Oh, I missed him!
No.
No, I missed the red thief! That's the worst! This is why I don't go for this in attempts anymore, because I always miss the freaking red thief. And it's really awful, because you kind of have to get the drop on him. It's really hard to, like, chase him down.
I guess I can explain what happens if you end up getting that. You do actually get both the eggs at once, but the result from getting it's kind of strange. You'll get doubled up audio of the egg, and the dragon that pops out is all funky and corrupted. The dragon's eyes in particular are like bright red.
Yeah, I was gonna let the cutscene play to show it, but that's really annoying. Alright, yeah, one damn sure, that's what I expected, so... The in-game music is on, yeah. If you can't hear it, that's... I don't know. Maybe I have the game too quiet.
Let's hit 'em.
Yeah, I'll reload my autosave just so I can do double thieves again. But yeah, I mean, the game sound, like, the music isn't very loud in this game anyway. The sound effects are way louder than the music. So if you kind of turn it up enough to hear the music clearly, you end up getting gem sounds blasting your ears.
Best boss fight, don't ask me.
Yeah, agreed.
There's a lot of specific junk that you can set up in this fight as well. If you're so inclined, you can get extra hits on specific phases on Spike, so you can get you can charge them with 4 rocks if you line it up right. You can line up 4 fire crystals if you want to as well, or just do 3 for everything. I think optimally, if it all sets up right, you want to get 4 rocks, 3 fire crystals, and then finish off with the blue crystals. But getting that to all work properly is a massive pain because it involves a fire crystal just basically falling on your head.
Mm-hmm. I'll turn the game sound up a little bit if it's a problem.
Hi, Spyro.
Also, it's pretty good if you're able to beat Spike in like under 15 minutes, I'd probably say. It's an optimal fight when you're below there, I would think.
Let me know if that's too loud, because I turned it up by a little bit. Yeah,
So-
Zimmy, Liquid sniped the donation before it closed, so you can thank him for that.
So one thing you'll notice about this Sparks level is that it is a decent bit scarier to do than the first one. Just how they're routed causes a lot more unkilled enemies, which, as mentioned before, there aren't really any iframes in these challenges, which it goes both ways. Meaning
You also
that you're
really
able
don't
to
want
just
to die here.
yeah. You can very easily get mowed down in this level, but this isn't even the worst Sparks level, so
Yeah. Oh my god, get the health. That was bad. I'm gonna... But yeah, there's really only one rapid fire, at least only one that you can reasonably get. and you really need it for the boss, so if you die, you are kind of screwed. But if you do have the rapid fire, this boss just dies. Alright, now I'm missing a 1 gem in the home world, which I need to
Excellent work.
find.
Time to see if I'm correct about my thoughts on location.
I think you are. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, you were exactly right.
Good, I still know my stuff.
God, I'm having real problems with Amarak. It keeps lagging, and I end up with like audio desync to keep refreshing it.
Listen to me, Drew.
Welcome
And yeah,
to the
rapid
third...
fire really does go burr.
Oh, right. Charmed Ridge is faster.
Yeah,
Doing that
Charmed
first
Ridge
now.
first is a thing now. We always used to do Honey Speedway first, but
Yeah, one of the most boring levels in the run.
the level order is completely different in Evening now. Because you do fireworks right after Lost Fleet now as well.
Bizarre.
So this is a fun level. Evening Lake is kind of full of really long, windy levels with a million parts. Charmed Ridge is kind of the exception. It's a bit more straightforward.
I would actually say aesthetically, Charmed Ridge is probably the most windy of them. It just happens to be one of the quickest.
I guess.
Is most of the time spent in like Fireworks Factory and Lost Fleet, for instance, they're spent in the side areas.
That's true, yeah. I always just found the gem layouts really confusing when I was learning, especially Lost Fleet, but Fireworks as well.
They're both very wide open levels.
Yeah.
And that's probably what I give that to.
So this is a puzzle that you're supposed to do, planting seeds and making platforms. You can kind of skip a lot of it with those boosted jumps. I just did one there. You can get a higher jump than you're supposed to. And then also you can get up to these things from the ground with a spin jump, which you're also not supposed to be able to do. You're supposed to plant these flowers and then use those as platforms to get up to the mushrooms. But who needs that? Spin jumps
Because
are
of-
just... Oh, I'll
Do you want to explain?
yeah,
it, or
I'll
am
explain
I-
spin jumps. They're basically like just a feature of Spyro's hitbox being kind of higher at the back. You can jump facing away from something, and then when you're like at the top, you kind of turn, and the weirdly shaped hitbox causes Spyro to get pushed upwards onto the ledge. that.
At last.
The floor actually broke. That's doesn't always happen.
That's a 1.0 only feature. Sometimes you'll try to break that piece of wood flooring and it just won't break.
Yeah.
In
Thankfully, you
fact,
can go around and get in the room a different way.
it breaks temporarily, and as we mentioned before in the game, the way that objects work is if they're not in their current spot, they're usually placed some X number of units underneath where they're supposed to be. There's some problem in specific with that wood panel, though, where sometimes it will quick warp down there, decide that it's not supposed to be down there, and just respawn back where it originally was. And the thing about the out of bounds breakable objects in this game is that they are no longer breakable.
Yeah, yeah. Once that happens once, you can't break it. Alright, cool little thing with Sergeant Bird here. You're supposed to kind of fly around killing these cat wizards once they spawn, but you can completely just spawn camp them. Just sit near where they spawn and shoot at the right time and kill them all.
So,
And we have to do 3 waves of that.
This is actually one of the truly hilarious things in the Reignited trilogy. You can just kind of like sit there and your rockets do all the work because they home in so hard. Like, you don't even really need to like look at the screen. You just spam circle and you hope that you get 10 out of 10.
Unfortunately, we can't just spam to time it, but the timing is not too difficult. $25 out of 25.
you didn't.
And here's another mystery jar, which we'll have to chase back through the level.
Oh,
Also, this princess who we're supposed to have been saving from being abducted, she was actually just, like, eloping with this dude. Because, I mean, he's got a motorbike, why wouldn't he?
He's all cool and edgy and stuff.
Yeah.
This mystery jar in particular has a kind of weird intricacy about it because we have Fireball. We're actually able to hit the mystery jar from further away, which actually allows us to be able to hit it from outside of the range that the game wants us to. And as a result, there is... if you're not paying enough attention, there's a small chance that you'll miss one of the triggers for causing the gems to spawn at the end, despite the fact that you broke all of the mystery jars, which just puts you on a wild goose chase going through the rest of the level, trying to figure out what trigger it was, with the end result being gems spawning out of literally nothing.
Yeah, like you hit the mystery jar and so the jar moves, but because you're too far away from it, the gems don't move. It's really strange. But I made sure to get that.
The very end of Charmed Ridge is home to one of the riskiest strats in the entire run, if you decide to go for it.
Oh, the proxy to that, to the
Yeah.
end, right? Oh,
Yeah.
back to the
You
first
can go for a proxy off the archer there, which if you get it saves, I don't know, maybe like 5 seconds. But if you miss it, you have to track down the mystery jar all over again, so it loses over a minute.
Yeah. So I kind of forgot what I was doing coming out of there. I was supposed to just go straight forward, but Alright, now we've got the longest speedway race in the game.
I should ask, what route do you do for the time attack?
Not the best one.
Okay.
I don't know who like came up with it. I think I copied it from like Michael or something, or Grant, like a old run.
Does make sense?
Yeah, the fastest route for the time trial here is pretty tough. I should
It
look into it again. I
definitely-
haven't really tried it since I first learned the game, so might be able
With
to
good
do it.
practice, it gets pretty consistent. I think like versus doing like some of the older routes, you get a time difference between like 59 seconds to a minute, and the shortest one being like 51 if you get a really good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a big time save.
Problem is that you are utilizing a feature very similar to the rings. Actually, it's pretty much the exact same as the rings. Due to how big ring hitboxes are in this level, or not in this level, in this game, anything that is treated like a ring has a very big hitbox as well, which includes the beehives. So you can actually go to the very bottom, like right underneath the hives, right through the center, and it counts as going through the beehive. And the fastest route utilizes doing it on pretty much every available opportunity. Well, I would imagine the route that you're doing does maybe like
I don't do
one or two
any,
of them?
no.
Oh, none? Okay.
Nope. It's a shame, because that's like one of the few bits of speed tech in this game that I found as a kid, but I don't use it in the run.
I think some of Vanny's older stuff might have a medium route that does like one or two of them,
Yeah.
and that route's sufficiently quick. You have to look at his older stuff, though. I think he does the fastest route in his PB.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Oh, nice start. Okay. That was a weird amount of lag there. That was more than normal.
Yeah, right. This route. Yeah, it doesn't do those. I forgot.
So these flowers are kind of annoying because some of the petals are solid and some of them aren't, and so you kind of have to know where you can charge off.
They actually, they're really funky. Every other petal, the physical hitbox flips. So there are half of them have the hitbox where you're able to stand on top of them, and the other half have the ability where you can't go up through them from underneath.
Oh yeah, I recently learned the fastest route for this as well, which is nice. Basically, you need to like not hit too many things, or the UFO will abduct you. But if you hit some of them, the UFO like moves further towards you, and if you do it right, you can get the UFO to actually go past you.
I just opt for the funny version of this. I like to take 5 hits right at the start because you're only allowed to take 6. As soon as you do that, that's when the UFO is able to get ahead of you. So as soon as you do that, the UFO will get a ways ahead of you, and eventually he becomes very drunk and starts to very sporadically drive around in the air. And it's funny every time I watch it.
Yeah, I don't get to see that. He goes past me, but just so that he can crash more quickly.
One of the other things about 1.0 that we never actually mentioned was Dact actually exited the speedway early there. Or, no.
Yeah, you're not really
And
supposed to be able to do that before Sparks talks to you. They patched it out in the Greatest Hits version.
Yeah, and the reason they patched out is quite justified. If you do it on anything aside from the Hunter Challenge, you will actually permanently lock yourself out of getting an egg. Which is why on 1.0 we specifically route out the speedways so that you do the Hunter Challenge last. Lost Fleet, the longest level in the entire run.
Yeah.
First place to I think Fireworks Factory second.
Yeah, or like Enchanted or something. There's a few contenders for that.
Yeah, Enchanted and Fireworks Fireworks is more sporadic.
Oh, come on, hit the vulture.
Yeah, this one easily takes it, while both Fireworks and Enchanted Towers, when done very optimally, can be like maybe low or high 8 minutes to low 9. This level in particular takes usually 11 and a half at the best. Maybe 10 if you're pushing it.
Yeah, I think the good guys have best segs in the 10s, but it's certainly not something I've done. Need to be very good at subs for that.
Not to mention
also, there's the new out of bounds route in the skateboard challenge, which saves some time.
Yeah, there's that as well, and then there's a level, just a main level route that's probably the hardest in the game.
Yeah, I don't do that.
When done
it doesn't
properly.
save that much time, actually, the level skip route, but it's...
Nah. You can also fudge it with very, very little cost.
Well, with cannon jump.
Yeah, I would do cannon jump, and I would purposefully avoid the double enemy in the because one of the main things about that route is you're dealing with a really tight invincibility cycle.
Yes, you are.
So I opt out of killing one of like the double enemies in like the second room and just do it later, because you can line up to kill the guy really quick right after subs.
Yeah, so all the whole way this is rooted is with the invincibility power up. This green stuff is acid; it kills you if you're not if you don't have the power up. But the power up only lasts for so long.
That being said, it's also water, which means that you can swim in air off of it if you really want to.
Yes, you can. And you again need to have invincibility, otherwise you die. Like if your invincibility runs out while you're swimming in air, you just die. So yeah, this is the first skateboard race. This first go through it's really easy to beat all the Rhinox if you just kind of conserve your boost. It's more important to just collect all the gems, not miss anything.
We'll also be spending our next 3 minutes here.
Yes, it's long. We have to do 3-lap race twice. Did I miss anything down here? Yeah, just this.
The core to going fast on the skateboard is to do a trick that fills up the fuel gauge really fast. There are two different ones in particular that people like to do. The one that Dact is currently doing is called the Nasty Nork, where you do a forward or backward flip followed by a diagonal flip. The other viable option is to do combinations of twisted lemons and twisted limes, where you just hold up left or up right multiple times. Or not multiple times, but you hold them until you get multiple flips. The problem with that one being is sometimes it just doesn't count the trick. Twisted limes are just like very strangely coated, so they don't really work too well. But either way, they both fill up your fuel gauge very quick.
And on this time, we have to make sure we get all the crabs. Right, boost here. And Hunter was nice and killed one of the crabs. There's like two parts at the end, and Hunter went down the other one to what I did. So I might actually go for the out of bounds route here because I've got all the crabs already. I'll do the last route. I'll skip the last lap. Oh, I didn't make it. Okay, the out of bounds requires you to kind of skip past that height cap there, and I didn't manage it, so there will be no lap skips.
Speaking of lap skips, if you end up doing this track improperly, you can actually miss a key trigger for a given lap to count.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't do that there. It's possible.
It's
No, okay,
it's
we're
up
good.
around like the tight corner right by all of the acid.
Yeah. I've definitely missed laps there before. I think I did that in the Spyrothon race, actually. I missed a lap. We have to kill 1,000,000 crabs.
These enemies are very annoying to kill, actually.
Their hitboxes are
They-
kind of misleading, and they don't move very predictably.
Along with them not moving predictably, they don't aggro onto you very predictably either. One of the most fun parts of the level coming up here, trying to shoot these last few birds with the
Yeah.
cannon.
Oh, come on. As if that missed.
Aiming cannons in this game is just not great. It's not very intuitive because once you get far enough away in the game, it's very hard to sense depth.
Yeah, depth perception is not burst. Okay, good. Get this egg from the wrong direction. You're supposed to swim through a acid river. We already went through it, but we took a different way out last time. And now subs, which is another very long challenge. Oh, I missed that, man. So we need to break 2 chests because we need to get gems from them, and we can't break them with Spyro. So we'll break those and then just kill the subs, and we'll clean up the gems afterwards.
Both the sets of subs actually move in different patterns, with the second subs in particular being ones that drop mines behind them, giving an extra level of a little bit of tension.
Yeah. The patterns are consistent if you move consistently, but that's easier said than done.
There's also a few manipulation strategies that you can go for in these. Dact a couple times during these have gotten the subs to just do a 180, which can be very convenient in just getting them killed faster.
I'm gonna
And
manip
sometime-
one at the very start here to actually kill itself with a mine.
Yeah, I was
There you go.
gonna bring
Okay.
that up.
Ah, no. Okay. Hit him anyway, please. Okay, good.
Actually, the fastest routes for the subs challenge go for like all no scopes.
Mm.
They're very, very hard and require a lot of practice to do, though. There's only like 2 runners that go for them.
If you want to see something cool with the subs, check out the world record in the last level in Super Bonus Round. There's a subs challenge, and the world record run does that amazingly. I don't know how you get it that good. It's insane. And then we get to clear out all the gems here. We'll try and do this all in 2 goes of the invincibility. It's kind of tight, but it should be alright.
This last bit here, actually, for newer runners can be quite scary because there's you got maybe 1 second or so of leeway before you run out of invincibility power up.
Yeah, you probably saw how close that was to running out.
A very common thing to actually happen there is you might pause and you'll feel your controller vibrate right when you pause. And when you exit there, you then realize that you can't pause the game again because you just got zombie. At that point, none of the acid will actually kill you, and the only way that you're able to solve the problem is by falling to your death, which is nowhere nearby.
You could exit via the portal as well. Can you get there?
You can,
Yeah. But that would be pretty slow.
yeah.
Now, another long and confusing level. This part of the game is where at least I'm guessing other people as well, kind of get really disillusioned with it if they're trying to do like a blind 117. Like, there's just a few
Yeah,
levels in a row that are just really painful to do if you don't know the routes.
Yeah, I would say Lost Fleet,
Lost Fleet,
Fireworks Factory, and Frozen Altars. All 3 of those can be quite annoying. Oh, what probably happened there is the rocket probably homed in on Greta.
Oh, can that happen?
Yeah.
I've
that
only not
happens.
hit that if the rockets like obviously hit the wall or something. But...
Yeah, no, if you shoot it too fast, the rocket will just go after Greta instead.
That's crap.
Yeah, at least you still had a good, well, that was an acceptable big guy cycle.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd have that big Rhinoc facing the opposite direction so that he runs while he's about to explode towards the big pack of enemies. Then you do some camera manipulation to force him to explode right next to them.
And just in general, you don't really want to flame too much around these ninjas because they will run away from you and makes it harder to hit them. You generally want to charge through these guys.
I've never been able to get that double on those Rhinox.
Wait, you mean get both guys with the same rocket, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it a couple times by accident. But...
You had a decent setup for it. Just a little bit off. There was actually a specific gem Dak was aiming for there in that strong chest explosion. There's a green gem that flies out and goes to the lower level. And if that happens, you lose like 15 seconds.
Oh, I don't know if it's that much. You just kind of get it at the end, and like
it's 8, maybe.
Yeah. You just kind of have to take a
run over.
detour at the end of the level to pick it up, but it's slow, but it's not the end of the world.
It's not 15. Yeah, thinking about it again, yeah, it's definitely not 15.
It's still something you want to avoid, though. You catch that gem out of the air. Oh god, I nearly fell in the fire there. That would have been bad. Okay, we're good.
Just reminded me of something that we've not mentioned at all because it hasn't really happened. There's a great feature in this game that we presume was done as a failsafe, or like it comes along with them trying to prevent double jumping in this game, and it's something that we call stutter jumping, where the very last frame of being on a ledge, if you try to charge jump off of a ledge at the last possible frame, the game will only give you 1 frame's worth of height. So you just get this tiny little baby jump, and usually it causes you to fall down somewhere, or in most cases, actually, it
I'm gonna
causes
do
you to
something
die.
neat here. I'm gonna quickly unplug my controller while that's loading in, which causes the game to pause, and then I can exit out of, like, I can escape Agent 9's talk box. I forgot I had a memory card plugged in there. That kind of made the controller unplug a bit more awkward.
Mentioned it to you before.
Yeah, you did. But yeah, and now we can play as Spyro in this area, which is not intended at all.
Oh, you go for a Sproder there to do that. That's
Yeah,
fun.
it makes it free. It's so much better than just wall gliding.
And what Dak actually did there was he skipped a trigger that initiates like the first-person camera view. And Spyro does have a first-person camera view, as you'll see in a bit. But not having it, it makes it a lot more convenient to properly just get your 3D space understanding.
Yeah, also lets you skip a text box later on, so
Yeah.
which is nice. But yeah, now we get to do actual first-person Spyro, which is not ideal. But it's much faster than doing this shit with Agent 9. At least as a human. Tast's movement with Agent 9 is very fast, but I would rather not.
Charging turn radius goes down quite a bit when you are first person Spyro. So a lot of the movement involves jumping and turning, because standing still and pivoting is very disorienting. And I think it's also slower.
Nice, okay, I got the text box skip. You start mashing at the right time and he just doesn't even talk for one of the text boxes there. So yeah, that was Agent Spyro. That used to be a big source of problems for runners of this category, because you had to mash and try and get a hit start on the right frame to get the pause to exit the text box. But then someone found that if you just unplug the controller at the right time, it pauses the game for you. Twin Dragons is kind of renowned for being annoying. These dragons are not very predictable in their movement. You just have to mash them down, and if you don't hit them for long enough, they start regenerating as well. So, pretty annoying.
Pretty much the only strategy we have for these fights is to aim for one dragon at a time. So we usually start with the orange one since it's the one that their starting is at least scripted. So the orange one starts closest to us. So you aim for that one. If he goes into holes, maybe grab some gems along the way. Otherwise, you're just flying over to where he's coming up. And then you just rinse repeat for the purple dragon until it is all taken care of. But this can be a very brutal spot. Sometimes the dragons constantly just go into the holes, and you can lose upwards of like a good 30 seconds if it's really bad.
There we go. Could have been worse. Hey Stan. Thank you. And then just clear up all the rest of the gems. I think I got this already. Yeah. Should have paid more attention. 'Cause... Also, I don't think we've talked at all about flame charging. It's been
Nope.
like most of, like more than half the run, and it's a pretty important.
It's used
feature.
all the time.
Yeah, it's doing it everywhere. Basically, when you charge through a gem container, the gem homes in on you. But normally, if you just flame it, it doesn't. But if you flame and then charge very quickly and from the right kind of distance away from the container, you can hit it with the flame and it'll home in as if you had charged it. And that lets you cut corners and do all sorts of movement more quickly. It's really, really important for any kind of completion category in Spyro games. Just, it's like tiny time saves, but you're doing it so many times that it adds up a lot.
They're also a very awkward thing to get used to when you're first learning the game, because it involves quickly moving your thumb from the circle button to the square button.
Yeah, and back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward thumb motion. I just kind of like rock my thumb back and forward, so I'm holding square normally with the tip of my thumb, and I just like rock back to hit circle with like my knuckle or the joint, and then rock back again. Do that very quickly.
Yeah, I usually do that and leave my thumb more towards the triangle button, since triangle doesn't really do anything when you're charging.
Alright, so another skip into a level there. It's Bentley's Outpost. The skip in there is kind of weird. Like, normally you can use the vases and stuff in the purple room as a visual cue, but I've already cleared out that stuff, so don't have it there. In like any percent, you have to be a bit more careful because you can very easily hit the portal for Honey Speedway by accident. But because Honey Speedway is unlocked in this category, we have plenty of eggs for it. We don't have to worry about that. Also, that's not... Oh, it was Sparks was there.
Got time for a donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so we got $11.17 from Clock District, who said, Frozen Altars has the best music in the game. Change my mind.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I don't really have strong opinions about the music in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's like, most of it's kind of alright, but not spectacular. There's some good songs. Frozen Altars is definitely good. Fireworks Factory. The Scorch music is really good. I don't like the boss fight music.
Final boss fight music?
Not on this version.
No, on this.
Yeah.
Definitely on this version. I like me some Sunrise Spring while I'm fighting sorcerers. Deck opting for the strat that doesn't allow world record proxy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have gone for that if I'd remembered. I completely forgot.
similar to Spyro, you can also do spin jumps with Bentley. So that's what that was back there.
Spyro 2 Homeworlds. What, like the ambient noise?
The only ones that get caught as copyright by YouTube.
Yeah, the Autumn Plains music gets confused for some random ambient track.
That is the most hilarious thing for me because every single 100% runner focuses when they do gulp skip, which means that they are not making a noise for just long enough for the copyright to be caught.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the long glide to the island that
Yeah,
gets
that too.
done as well.
This is one of those levels in particular that knowing where the gems are going to pop out is very important. So there's not too much to really like save on. Bentley is a very simple character when it comes to movements.
Yeah, the more gems you can kind of pick out of the air, the better. Oh, I went. Oh no. Okay, that's actually fine. Yeah. I got hit there and put me sparkless, but the only gems I had to collect, I kind of touched them all anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Those last ones you always just grab right out of the air.
And I should be able to get some fodder and frozen altars.
Frozen Altars is a very special level in particular.
Welcome.
It is the only level in the game that we do not have standard flame breath.
Yeah. Also, I just heard a sparks noise at the start there, but I don't have sparks. That was interesting. Like,
Don't forget the 10 gem. That's
yeah,
back
I
there.
just realized that I missed that. Okay. Oh my god, this is really awkward to do without sparks. Okay. Oh no, I fell off! No! I haven't practiced the ice proxy. Let's see if I can just get it by accident. No. Okay. Oh, that's bad news. So you want to proxy up to that like ledge to get those gems, and I did, and then fell off. So I now have to go there later again.
It's okay. This is an opportunity to get a fodder, I think. No, I think the first fodder is after the
Yeah, I should have just death abuse, to be honest. Like that would have been better because I have to do this shit with no sparks as well.
I think there might only be 2 fodder in this level, actually. It's either 2 or 3. Or, depending on if there's one next to boxing.
Oh, I don't remember.
So I know there's the one in the area with the first snowman. There's one in like the big pen with all of the mammoths that don't have gems for some reason.
Mm.
And I think
Nice.
that's it.
That jump is not easy.
Oh yeah, that's an especially weird jump. It also features a technique that we didn't mention before that is not super common in this category. You got wall glides.
Oh god.
Wall glides are just a
What am I doing? Oh, just spin jump. Okay.
wall
that was
glides are
really
a
dumb. You go.
You go. Okay. Wall glides are a decently like common way to gain just a slight amount of increased height while trying to glide over to a specific location. Which just they're honestly very specific scenarios. And they don't save too much time in this category. There's a couple in particular in shorter categories that can be quite important. But overall, it's just a way to get a slight bit of increased height from a jump.
So everyone remembers this challenge, right?
Yeah, you just punch to all the single ladies.
No, but there's the like faster BPM you can use for those like stun locks as well. You have to mix it up.
You should go back and
Oh, you'll be seeing a lot of left jab. That, in fact, that is all you'll be seeing. Left jab.
Oh, come on.
Pretty much the core strategy we have for this fight is to do quick jabs or hit the square button at a specific time interval. What we found is the most effective time interval, I think, is 93 beats per minute. It's either
I've never
93 or
looked at it
97.
in
I
that
can't
way.
remember which one it is. But it fits along with
was
Africa
sick.
by Toto.
That was a
Oh,
sick
that-
boxing
that
too. Oh
is
my god.
fantastic. Holy
16
crap.
left. That was a bad boxing one. It was like a 33, but man, that was awesome. So it's good to kill him on the first round. Like it's easy to not get him on the first round. And I got him on the first round with 16 seconds remaining. That was awesome.
If the fight gets to the second round, the Yeti actually regains some health too, so it makes it especially longer.
say
Alright, this is the second and last time that we'll be paying money bags.
I challenged it.
One of the best mini games in the game changed my mind.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree, but I can see why you like it. It's pretty skill-based, I'll give you that. God.
He had a good setup.
Yeah, this is actually really good.
It was not a bad
Go
first
ahead.
pass.
That was not a bad cow hockey.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
Thanks for helping out.
My favorite thing to do with cat hockey actually is to try to get every single cat, even the ones after the game ends, over to the same goal. And then from there, you can just freeze all of them at once and just squeeze proxy off of them for as long as you want. And also make your console chug by having Spyro run at about 10 frames per second. Oh, you
Did I
must have
miss
fived
one up
it,
there?
yeah.
I think I did.
You did.
Yeah, that sucks.
The egg's
Took
name
that
is
a bit
Bob
too
because
tight.
it's a sheep. The egg comes out in like a sheep costume. Now we come to, by far, the worst instant of RNG in this game.
Hmm. Yeah, Scorch is kind of crap. Like, the ammo to kill him with is random. Like, Bentley can either give you red rockets or green rockets. And they both do the same amount of damage, but with the green rockets you get 1, and with the red rockets you get 50. So, like, go figure. And then Scorch can also do different attacks that take different amounts of time as well. That's the quickest one, but right up from the others. Yeah, so that's 1 green. Each green rocket you get just loses time.
And if you think for a second that we don't understand how the RNG works in this boss, you would actually be wrong. We know exactly how the RNG works. It's just it's based off of all of the inputs you've been doing in the game up to this point, which makes it impossible to manipulate unless you are a task. Coincidentally, it also makes it very convenient for a task.
Yeah, because it's completely deterministic. I mean, I guess everything is for in games. Also, yeah, that was the first boss that he just threw at us. So
Yeah. Buzz is not a big fan of rockets.
and now we get the worst Sparks level.
Yeah, I mentioned before that Spider Town wasn't the scariest Sparks level. And that's because Starfish Reef easily has that. And it's not exactly because of the level. It's about how we do the level. You see, there's an out of bounds in Starfish Reef, which allows us to go through the level backwards. And since the level is focused on killing enemies to get through the rooms, it means that there's a focus on enemies being in the rooms.
Yeah, you're supposed to
just-
need to kill every enemy in a room in order to get to the next one. And obviously that's really slow, and so being able to skip to the end is very convenient, but makes things kind of tricky. So yeah, just climb up the wall. Same as we've been doing in every Sparks level. And now we're at the boss.
You'll be seeing a lot of enemy weaving coming up. If everything goes right, of course.
Got hit a couple times there, that wasn't ideal. I'd like to be on as much health as I can be. I definitely forgot to get these gems before. Oh wait, what am I doing? I'm the wrong way.
So yeah, this is going to be a lot of what the rest of the level looks like. Just tightly packed enemy spaces.
I'm trying not to run out of rapid fire, which I'm not doing very well at. Very low.
Get in a quick dono here.
Go ahead.
So Kurt Mantis donated $32 and said, "Yo, GL."
Alright, so I get more rapid fire. Now it's kind of less dangerous from here. You get a health refill and rapid fire in that room. Okay from here. Of course, if I die now, it'll be stupid. But...
One of the funny things about this backwards route is that it's actually detrimental if you kill every enemy in a given room, because it usually causes the door in one of the given areas to just close behind you, meaning
yeah,
that you're just stuck in there.
Stuck.
Outside of the start, that wasn't too bad though.
Yeah, it started kind of shaky, but all good. Remember
Yeah, didn't die. That's
hold
all that
forward
matters.
here, otherwise you don't talk to Zoe
When I saw that,
and don't get the extra hit point.
Pretty sure optimally the extra skill point is something to actually pass up, but as a normal human being, having the extra health is
Yeah,
very nice, especially for only 1 second lost.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the task skips it, but it's I would like to have the extra health, especially for one place in Agent 9's lab where you can sometimes have to damage boost a couple times.
Spyro.
I'd say Haunted Tomb is also a really nice place for it.
True. Alright, so... nice. We're going to do this last level in a weird order. Last world, rather. We're going to head straight for the final boss. Final boss, in quotes. The, like, any percent final boss. We already have plenty of eggs to be able to unlock the fight. And by doing this straight away, we unlock the last Sparks level. And when we do the last Sparks level, we get a couple of really nice power-ups, actually. So... So this fight is kind of hard, I don't know.
This fight has to be by far probably the most researched fight in the entire original Spyro trilogy. This fight has been nailed down to a T exactly how it is supposed to work. There's specific spots that given weapons are supposed to drop from the sky with their level of precedence. There's the only thing that's truly random with the fight is not even the direction that the sorceress moves, it's just the attacks that she does.
Yeah.
Everything else, spawns are random as well, but everything else you can get pretty well scripted.
I hit her one too many times, and so I went straight to UFO phase. It's fine, like, I don't care that much. Ideally, you want to not have to use the UFO at all, because it's the slowest vehicle by far.
Not to mention, it takes forever. It takes forever to drop down as well.
That was a really quick UFO phase, though. I'm okay with that fight. Also, yeah, you might have noticed the boss music is kind of weird. That's because I'm on the OG version, the 1.0. The actual boss music is on the disc, but it just doesn't play correctly, and so it plays track 1, which is the first time world music.
You'll notice that a lot of the levels in this homeworld actually play repeat music too.
Yeah, they had not quite finished all the music when they released the game.
I think Crystal Islands, I'm pretty sure, plays Seashell Shore music.
Yeah, Dino Mines plays Molten Crater.
Desert Ruins plays something else.
I don't know.
Oh, what was it? It might have also been Molten Crater.
Yeah, it's just Crystal Islands that annoys me, because I really like that track on Greatest Hits.
And of course, every Speedway plays the Harbor Speedway soundtrack.
Yeah, true.
Agent 9's Lab still plays, though, which happens to be, I think, the only song in the trilogy that is not in 4/4 time, is in fact in 7/4.
I've got a music nerd here.
Yes, I am.
Why am I going here? I didn't get the key. I missed the key and just went as if I could just continue. Idiot boy.
That's unfortunate overall too, because there's a lot that you end up doing in this route that kind of hinges on the invincibility.
Yeah.
You could still do the route in the same order, it just makes it take a lot longer.
Okay, finally get a rapid fire power up. Where's the... Oh, okay. Normally that second key guy is further out than that. And then, yeah, again, skip into the boss and mow him down. His tail doesn't damage you, so you can just kind of sit behind his head and mow him down. Only his head actually hurts you.
This makes me
This fight in particular makes me think about Reignited Trilogy nowadays, because damage in those in the Sparks areas in that game are frame rate dependent.
Oh yeah, you get like crazy damage on 60 FPS, right?
Yeah, or if you uncap it, it's just
true.
absurd. I think with about 170 frame rate and above, 170 FPS and above, you can just use charging to kill the boss,
Oh my word.
because the charge deals damage every frame of contact. And same with that machine gun power up. It shoots a pellet every frame that you hold the button.
Hmm. So yeah, you might have noticed when I came out of there that there was a basket next to me that just kind of exploded. And that's the new Sparks power-up. You just kind of charge near a basket or a vase and Sparks will just break it. Which is really nice. We can cut corners more.
Don't worry.
Here we get all our gems back from Moneybags. We've only paid him twice, and so we don't have to go for very long. If you've done all the intended payments to him, you end up chasing him around for ages.
Apologies for the bonging noise.
Oh my god, get up there. Good.
There's actually a pretty much actually I think it is every single one of the Midnight Mountain levels has been rerouted over the summer. Most of the reroutes only save like 1 or 2 seconds, and it's purely because of one thing that we didn't really think about at the time, and it's that on FDS, Atlas or warping away with Sparks via the Atlas is slightly faster than exiting a level regularly. In this case, because Dact actually has autosave on, it's about the same time, if not a little bit slower.
I'm still gonna do it just because that's what I do in normal runs, but I'm pretty sure it's actually slower if you're autosaving.
Yeah, the routes are focused a lot on that, meaning we'll usually be exiting the level from side areas. Because coincidentally, like the way that it ends up working, and I think it's specifically in Midnight Mountain, if you warp out of a level into just the Midnight Mountain homeworld, it just spawns you outside of the portal.
Does it not do that in the other world?
Maybe it does.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm thinking of Spyro 1 that's weird and like...
Spyro 1 is weird in the, like, later in the game, it starts spawning you after game overs, like, outside the level.
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking of that.
So now we have our 2D platformer section of the run. Yo, thank you for the raid, Ninja. Welcome, everyone. Man, this is a raid.
Sadly, due to reroutes, the probably the hardest section of this level has now been moved to the very end of the level. At least if you follow the route, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
just because of how precise it can be.
I don't have the actual like enemies routed in. I have a route for the gems and then just kill the enemies.
I think I had like an enemies route for like the first few enemies, and then from there it was gems until those are gone, and then enemies.
It's like the first bit, the first 3 enemies. I got that. That's easy.
Key chest. Oh, I missed that gem. Oh, come on. Little unintended
old-
jump to get back over there.
Good old callback. Hand jump was a strat that was used in like 100 egg back in like 2014. You got phased out for other things. Oh god.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. So yeah, basically everything starts on a cycle from when this area loads in, and
I've been training.
you have to move well. But the Manta moves really fast, and also the like ammo that you shoot is not very easy to aim. Oh my god. As I said, it's not very easy to aim. Because it like shoots out of the sides of the Manta. It's just very weird.
It's also it's the same objects that shoot out of Spyro's mouth in Spyro 2 when he's underwater.
Yeah, they kind of spiral instead of going in a straight line.
And
I'm also
as a result,
short gem.
it also has the same glitch where it spawns slightly in front of where it shoots, allowing you to just shoot them through walls. Not that it's useful in this scenario, but you know,
No.
just some fun facts.
I'm also missing a gem, and I'm not sure if it's in here or not. It is, okay.
Nice.
But yeah, instead of exiting out of here, because once I collect this gem I missed, I will have everything in this area. In this level, rather. Do I? Yeah, I do, okay. Yeah, I can just Atlas warp out, and were I not using autosave, it would be faster. So hopefully I can get this. There's an egg death abuse you can do. Oh, I missed the egg. What? That's rare. Normally you get the egg and miss the death abuse. There we go. So that's slightly faster than taking the whirlwind back. When
If you get it first try.
Yeah, exactly. If you death abuse during an egg cutscene like that, you collect the egg counts, but it doesn't set the checkpoint of that egg. You checkpoint back to your previous checkpoint. So that was the egg I collected next to Desert Rose.
What was that?
Crack monkey level.
Yeah. It's time for monkey.
So Agent 9 is the hardest to control character
Oh god. That's terrible.
in the game. At least when you're doing speed tech. If you control him normally, I would probably say Sergeant Bird's harder, but if you're going for speed tech, which of course we are, yeah, we can just kind of make Agent 9 go as fast as we want. And I don't really know how exactly it works. Like, I don't know why it works. I feel like I usually have some kind of reason for everything, but I don't for the strafe pumping.
Yeah, you just like hold one strafe button and mash the other, and also hold a diagonal, and you just go everywhere. And it's really hard to control, but also really fast.
Like, I guess maybe they didn't account for you. Well, obviously they didn't account for you doing that, but it might be like
there's some kind of animation in there that you're doing that doesn't have a speed cap, and there's something that's giving you acceleration. So combine those together, and you get a constant speed increase.
Nice work.
And you can reach speeds in this that
Now I can
that show you a very special side to this game, where if you move too fast, the speed value actually overflows, and you start moving backwards instead.
Yes. Right, okay.
The labs.
The grenades in this area are actually very awkward to control their distance. Very similar to the cannons in this game. Depth perception is just very hard, so understanding how far they will travel is also hard.
Also, these boat hitboxes are like exactly what they look like, which means they have really thin heads. I'm gonna Death Abuse here because I have green sparks and I'd rather not.
I see you also get the location. If you're standing in exactly the right spot at the end of that boat challenge, the game will be in the right spot for you to collect the egg during the fade out. And then as soon as the fade out's over, it will teleport you over to get the egg. But you've already gotten the egg right before the fade out, so
Yeah, you get the egg
it
twice.
just says you've already gotten it. So you'll be seeing coming up the reason why Death Abuse is there. There's a very specific strat coming up that is quite scary to do with low health.
Yeah. Oh, what? As if I missed that guy. Low health anyway. Oh, and I'm... Oh, okay. Now I actually can't. I have to go back and get more bombs. Somehow I missed that chest there.
But it at least allows you to get the fodder.
True. There's actually... Yeah, there's a butterfly from before, and I can kill a potter again. So I'm back on gold. That's convenient.
Didn't say it better myself.
Alright, so... Nice. So that's called back to front. You build up speed and hit the ledge in the right way where you get kind of launched way up and can skip from the end of the level back to the start, which lets you get this strong chest with the bomb. Otherwise you have to kind of run all the way back through the level and it's very slow. So, very glad I got that. It's kind of hard to control, and there is a more consistent way of doing it, but it's a lot slower, where you like damage boost with some bombs. But being able to do it with the zigzagging like that is very nice.
The classic for back to front is to get the angle wrong and just go straight through the end level portal.
Yeah, I've never done that in a run, but it's always a fear.
There's a handful of people that have highlights of it, and usually it's got good laughs along with it. Actually, it's a very small space that you're hitting there. That portal. The route for this level is actually very strange. Crystal Islands. That's because there's a swim and air in it.
Yeah, I don't think I do the same route. I don't know which route you're thinking of. I don't do the gem swim, I do the other swim.
Oh yeah, I mean either way, the route's just
Yeah,
kind of weird.
true.
But yeah, no, I do the regular swim too. I didn't know there was a gem swim route.
Oh, really? I thought I'd seen you doing it before, but no. The route that Nitroff does now has both swims actually, but
Oh,
yeah, even before that, he was doing jumpy swim.
Would you like to see?
and I was never doing that in 117. In other categories, yeah.
Oh, of course. The new route's cool though, because you speak to the end level guy while getting the key chest,
Oh,
and
yeah,
so it's like
I
really far away.
did utilize that part of the route.
Oh, okay.
Like the last bit, the routing of the very last like pool, I did that.
So that's a swim in that's pretty easy. Just the water. Oh, I didn't mean to talk to that guy. The water is very close to the land, and so you can make it from out of bounds.
The thing that makes it a lot easier to get that swim is you saw Dak jump right before doing the swim. It actually kind of makes Spyro bob up and down a little bit more, which just makes the swim easier to obtain. Either that or it's just placebo.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
it's
never been able
timing
to
based
tell.
as well. There's like a cycle that the water is on, so it's kind of a bit of both, I think. And then you can kill this guy straight away. Chasing that plane thief is really hard. Like, it's just slow. Like, it takes ages to kill him if you don't get him like that.
Chasing him with swim is especially hard.
Yeah, yeah. If anyone's played Reignited, you might remember this being horrible. It's not quite as horrible in the original.
Oh, this is hilarious in Reignited. I don't know what you're talking about.
It took me
It's
so
actually
long.
It's easier in Reignited because you could just keep hitting the same mole over and over again.
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just hit them into the wall and then
It took me so
even though
many
they go
attempts.
invisible, the hitbox is still there.
Crap.
Optimally, what you do is you get like 3 of them to go into the corner and you can just club all 3 of them at the same time over and over until you're done.
So
Like, you can legit finish it with like 30 seconds left.
Man, I feel like I got played. But yeah, there's this kind of spot here where only moles spawn, and lots of moles spawn, so you don't need to worry about hitting the wizards, because they won't appear there. Just kind of mash everything, and then clear up the gems before getting the last one. You have plenty of time.
Well done.
Yeah, luckily the last location that the mole spawns, like right after you get those gems, is also quite consistent. Oh, this route's slightly different than I remember. Everyone has different pool routes.
Yeah, I know what Nerf does is really cool. He like goes in and out of the water, killing all the beavers. I struggled with that, so I just kill the beavers first.
No.
It's really important to try and collect all the gems on this slide the first time through, and I think I messed it up already. Thankfully, that's not too bad to recover from. It's if you start missing stuff like in the middle of the slide that it's really awful. Because you're moving fast enough that Sparks can't really keep up, and he won't collect everything. So you need to actually touch a lot of the gems.
Yeah, within a given pack, you might be able to miss 2 gems at a given time. Otherwise, you're probably going to miss a gem.
So I think I might have missed a couple right at the start, but we'll see. Yeah, Sparks is pointing, so means I need to re-enter. believe it was just that.
Should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the right gem count. And thankfully Atlas Warping gives you a good chance to check your gems. So you never really have to wait for it to pop up. Ugh, don't talk to me. I don't care. Okay. Ah, didn't get the fast door. You can jump back off that door, like while it's still going down, and oh my god, messed up the slow strat as well. Okay, that's how you do the fast door. That's what I was talking about. I failed it so that I could show you the fast strat.
I'm pretty sure there's actually some newer, even more special snowflake strats that are slightly faster than fast door as well.
Wow.
Because you can actually do a proxy off of the mummy.
Oh, right, okay. Haven't seen that. Okay, so another Agent 9 section. You just kind of use his speed to skip up to this top section here and skip the whole challenge. And you have to be careful as well, because if you go too fast, you'll go way, like it'll launch you way out and you'll go over the invisible wall and just fall to your death. And these NPCs all give you riddles, and so you can't just mash, you have to actually choose the right answer. The top answer that you would get if you mashed is never the correct one, so you always have to choose something.
One other random tidbit that I want to mention from the Agent 9 section is if you end up waiting around long enough at the end, after you've skipped out of like a specific area, you'll end up noticing that all of the enemies actually clip through the walls.
So
the
the
snake-
that.
Yeah, no, the snakes will relentlessly chase you to the end. It is quite funny watching them just float over the void because they don't care about the height of anything either. They just stay at the same height value.
Oh, he threw the rock at the dog. Crap. You kind of want to recycle the rocks here so that you kind of kill one of the guys as they're throwing a rock at you, and you get to keep one. Sometimes they end up hitting something or just making it annoying.
Another quite funny, more recent thing that's been utilized in some routes is you can actually get the golems to, or Earth Shapers, golems, whatever. You can get them to throw their snowballs straight down, and then they bounce right back up, hit them in the
I've
face,
seen
and
that.
kill themselves.
Well, you may now.
So the tanks, it's kind of like we have a route for it. It's not too bad, but it's very easy to take a bunch of damage and kind of mess up here. You kind of want to shoot to the sides of these like pop things because they come out. The direction they come out is random, and so sometimes they'll actually just go straight into your shots, which is really nice. And other times, if they don't, you can just turn and hit them, and it's easy.
That was.
So one of the important reasons to skip to the end of
the level in particular in this level is it keeps all of the doors open so that you don't need to worry about hitting the buttons to be able to get through. Just overall makes routing for the level, well, aside from being faster, it makes it a lot easier as well.
Okay, that hit me and I picked it up, so that was nice. Thankfully there's a skill point back here so I can regain my sparks.
Now you get to show off the very prestigious skill point.
Yeah.
See, a lot of the focus in Haunted Tomb ends up being a lot of camera movements to make sure that you have these golems on the screen. Because if they're off screen, they're not going to be throwing anything. Because if it's off screen, it's not happening. That is the common case with a lot of things in the game, so it still persists.
So this level is it's weird. Like all the stuff that you get gems from takes a while to actually pop the gem out. Like both these cactuses and the dinosaurs, they just kind of take a while and you have to wait around a lot. But you can optimize it a bit. You kind of hit something and then go off and do something else and then come back once the gem's available.
This level also has a heavy dosage of what I literally just brought up of if you don't see it, it's not happening. Because a lot of times you'll be making sure that you're keeping the camera out of vision of the green dinosaurs in specific, so that they're not readying their gun. Can be very easy otherwise for them to already have their gun loaded up while you're on your way to flame charge them.
The underwater movement here is quite tricky as well. Trying to hit the guys without them hitting you, and the fact that everything's kind of on different levels, you have to go up and down a lot.
Yeah, trying to get the guys and get all the bottles can be quite hard.
This level is also really short, except for one particular area that has a long auto-scroller. But like the main level is really small.
Jumper jump. The sheriff promised.
But we get to play arcade game. Rail shooter.
There is a little bit of worry about what's going on with this rail shooter. Obviously, you need to kill the dinosaurs that are coming up on the screen, but there's also a worry about making sure that you break open all of the baskets that are on site, just so you don't have to worry about them later.
Yeah.
As well as maybe breaking some windows just to make sure that your path is unrestricted. Since we do indeed need to run through this area after we finish this.
Get some good ricochet shots out of that door.
Yes, as this is indeed a rail shooter, all of the spawns are consistent, meaning that you can line up your shots pretty easily for what's to come.
Oh. Actually have to aim though. There is a dino about halfway through that gives you a skill point and so refills your health. It is actually slightly slower to get him, but I'll always get him if I have taken a hit, just to make sure I don't die. Or end up on no sparks going into the gem collection. Oh, I actually missed him, what the hell? I tried to get him and I just couldn't. My aim's been pretty terrible this challenge. And now our last lot of Agent 9 movement as we clean up this area. Did I get the blues out? No, I missed one of the reds, okay. Sometimes you move too fast for sparks, or you go off the edge. That's not ideal. Because now all of the baskets and stuff that I broke are back. Except for this one. For some reason this one stays broken.
That's because it's a multi. Usually any containers with multiple gems in them, unless they're strong chests, will usually maintain being broken. Then strong chests strong chests and headbash chests will remain open if you collect at least one gem from them first. That is something I only learned like yesterday.
Yeah. I know in Spyro 1 you have to collect like specific gems to make them stay open. Like if you get some of them they will come back, but others they will stay open. Alright, that should be all the gems. You should see 700 here.
One of them done.
Yeah.
That is the last regular level.
Yeah. Still got a little way to go, but we've got a speedway and then the bonus level, which has a bunch of stuff in it.
Oh yeah, the bonus level in its own is so compact with things in it.
I nearly hit that explosive. Basically, if you're in third person, like I was there, you need to be strafing, so like holding a diagonal and one of the strafe buttons, and mash the other strafe button. So like holding L1 and mashing R1, for example. Hey, Tilts. Alright, last speedway. This race is pretty fun. It's probably my favourite of the speedway races, actually.
It's a good one. I'll give you that.
Country has the best time trial, but this probably has the best race.
I'd probably give Country my favorite when it comes to the race, but this is definitely a close second for me.
Mm.
Then Mushroom, and then Honey.
Yeah. No arguments there.
Time trial, though.
What,
Don't
the
really
Harbour?
know.
Oh, right. The Harbour time trial, it's alright. Like, it goes very badly when it goes badly.
I've grown fond of the Honey Speedway TT. It's very hard, but it's very rewarding.
Hmm.
Probably that, then Harbor, then Country, then Mushroom. Maybe Country before Harbor. Second best Hunter challenge though in Harbor Speedway.
I guess.
I can't.
I don't think there's much of... Yeah.
I can't not think that Meatballs and Sausage is the best.
Oh my god.
That's the name of the Honey Speedway one, by the way. Some people like to call it Meatballs and Sausage. Forgot to mention it then. It makes it make a lot more sense when you get to see the meatballs and the sausage.
Yeah, in the river of cheese.
Yes. But this one, you get to look at Hunter's finely sculpted ass for a solid minute.
Yeah. Longer if you get the glitch.
Yeah. Yeah. The best part about running on 1.0.
Yeah. I've never got it since I started intentionally slowing down a bit towards the end of the challenge. I got it once, like, early into running this, and I got the advice to just, like, slow down a bit, and I've never got it since.
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot.
I
just
forgot
going
I was
wider.
going into the time trial there. You have to go down. Oh, come on. I missed that guy? What? I'm not even 100% sure where that crab I missed is. Oh, he's... Oh, it's this guy. Okay, that's not so bad. I said crab, it's a lobster.
Long crab.
We're talking about this next challenge where you get to see Hunter's behind for a while.
Where do these
That's really like the only notable thing about it.
Yeah. See?
You get to watch Triangle.
To be honest, I'm watching the UFO, but like,
Yeah.
that's only because I'm controlling the game. But yeah, we were talking about a glitch before. You can, like, sometimes the UFO, at least on the 1.0 version, he'll just, like, skip a ring, and you have to go through another entire lap to actually beat the challenge. But I'm intentionally slowing myself down a bit on these posts to prevent that from happening. Alright, now we have 100%, in fact. So we just have the last like bonus level to go, so probably about like 6 minutes away from being done.
So at the start of this super bonus round, there's going to be a lot going on at once.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk.
Just wanted to preemptively say that there's
It's
an
very
entire for the first like solid minute and a half of this, there's going to be a specific cycle that Dak's going to be aiming for with all of the UFOs. It's going to be making sure to get all the thieves he can at the time as well.
This place is where the sorceress kept
And ideally, the way it's going to end is he'll be right by the subs minigame,
thieves came and stole.
and all of the UFOs will be gone within like the first minute and a half.
Treasure.
It's actually not even intended to get the UFOs first, because you have to do a skip to get to the power-up.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different manips here for all of the thieves that you can just get them to run back into your path conveniently. It's a nice simple damage boost to get over. So far, this is looking like the cycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
That is-
why is this not
that-
breaking? You can get it like a slightly better thing than that, but I don't get it very often, where you kind of snipe that last one.
Yeah, that's about as good as that usually goes. So that's basically what you hope for. That was
If
really
you lose
solid.
track of one of the UFOs, it's awful, because you have to follow it around and... Nice, the double.
The one that you missed is the only UFO that is fine missing on the first go, because it just comes around and you can just aim at it.
So it's
UFO
not-
proxy or banned.
I mean, I'll try. It's much easier to get no-scopes on these subs than on the Lost Fleet ones. The kind of area's a bit more tight and they're a bit more predictable.
Yeah, they're constantly turning, and it's just the angle that they turn at tends to be just a lot nicer for you to nose right up to them.
Yeah, especially going around those big pillars. Alright, so this is the last skateboarding section. This race is awesome if it goes well, but I'll be trying to get all of the gems on the 3 laps around and win the race, which is easier said than done.
New route or old route?
I don't do the bounce thing, no.
Okay. To be fair, that bounce is kind of dumb. I hate going for that bounce.
See, I'll be doing some lap skips, otherwise this would be, like, skipping parts of laps. Otherwise this would be completely impossible. Because this, doing this race, like, casually, like, not skipping any parts of the laps, is actually kind of tight just to win the race.
Another nice fun fact for y'all. There are actually like specific sections underneath and on some of the portions of this track that are just straight up corrupted textures. And they're consistently corrupted. Like you could actually see one while Dact was initiating the lap skip. There's part of one of the walls that just is all goofy.
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
It's more noticeable on the underside of the tracks.
Gotta go around this star so as to not get the boost and be able to get all 4 of those gems.
Yes, doing flips fills up your speed gauge. He's been doing tricks called a nasty nork, which is a front or back flip followed by a diagonal flip, which when doing that fills up your boost gauge completely. Was that every gem?
I believe so. I'm gonna check the sparks. Yeah, it was. Nice.
Nice.
This is a really good SBR, actually.
I'd
UFO
say
proxy
so.
or burst. So it's pretty close to time. It might be right next to time if I get a trick here, but it's very soon.
I don't know how she.
Nah, I didn't get it. So you can proxy off that UFO and just like glide straight to the sorceress and just flame her a couple times and she dies. It's precise, and I'm not going to go for it a second time.
Precise, inconsistent, and a lot faster.
Yes.
And at the end of a 3-hour run.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, time's up when she dies. Oh, come on. Hit her. And... oh, come on. Time. That was a bad fight.
GG.
Thanks. I don't have the stream open. What's the time?
I
3:14:50.
Nice, okay. That's like 5 minutes. Oh, no, we had the intro, so more like
it's like a
3.5 minutes.
14. It's like a 3:14:15 or something.
Okay. Not bad. Yeah, my PBs are 309. My last like resetless run I did for Spyrothon, I got a 317, so I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you everyone for the GGs. It's been ages since this category's been in any marathon, really. As far as like other than Spyrothon. Don't think it's been in ASM since Parso did it. So thanks everyone for sticking around. And thanks, Wed, for sticking for commentary as well. I know it's pretty late for you now.
Yeah, it was no problem.
Yeah.